And what a match that we just witnessed. Portugal beating Spain on penalties 5-3, 2-2 after extra time. Unbelievable result. We said after our previous our return video, that if something crazy like this happened, their big match, or something crazy happens, of course we're going to be hopping back. We are officially back to the channel, uh, so it's good to be back. And what a match we witnessed today. We talked about this a little bit in our previous video, and of course huge ramifications from this match, but ultimately Portugal getting the job done. And I'll hand it off to you first for your reaction. We were talking during the game. What is your first initial reaction to this match? Portugal, of course, winning the Nations League for the second time in their nation's history. Ronaldo winning his third international trophy. What are your thoughts?
Well, before I get into that, I do have to say how nice it is to finally be able to come back at this time where we're able to talk about matches like this, especially right after the game. Like, it just ended a couple like minutes ago, but
Mm-hmm.
just truly spectacular, man. I mean, this is what we watch for. I mean, the storylines that built up to this game through the semifinals to the finals, and now this one being issued as the old guard versus the new guard. I mean, one team led by what is the most hyped young player since, I mean, maybe Mbappe and Messi, Ronaldo. Like Yamin Yamal at 17 years old, and then 40-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo in another final with Portugal with a chance to win his third international trophy. I mean, it was written in the stars. I mean, it was just spectacular, and it was I mean, it's hard to describe. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a great back and forth game. It wasn't one sided. I mean, Portugal started strong, and then Spain kind of eased into the game, but then the substitutions that were made changed the game. I mean, we were talking all about it. I mean, the one that caught my eye, I mean, it was Rafael Lau. I thought he's a player that's just kind
Yeah.
of too good to have on the bench, but he's nice to have to bring on, because when was brought on, he changed life. I mean, he was
Yeah.
starting to get very very like, oh shit, to deep areas that were dangerous, especially when Nuno Mendes, and I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about him, but
Of
overall,
course.
I mean, it delivered. I mean, the match definitely delivered.
Yeah. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting per se, I guess, at the start of the match. I mean, I would say the beginning of the match is exactly what I kind of expected, because I thought Spain were the better team going into it. Obviously, on form right now, looking like, arguably favorites going into the next World Cup. They're just playing unbelievable, led by Lamine Yamal coming off of the Euro victory. They kind of seemed unbeatable. I know that second half ultimately was kind of lackluster against France, but they got up 5-1 in the first place against a stacked France team. You kind of figured, yes, Portugal are a good side, but you thought that Spain would have enough to kind of get over it. And then you saw how they started the match. They get the opening goal. And to be honest, we're thinking this is going to be a cruise control 3-0. Boom, see you later. In Portugal, they have great players, and they kind of have those moments of brilliance where they can beat you. And that's ultimately what happened. But the beginning of the match, I just didn't expect it. But ultimately, Nuno Mendes gets them kind of right back into the game. And then kind of after that, it was very back and forth the rest of the game. And I give credit to Roberto Martinez, because the subs definitely did make a big impact. Rafael Leao, like we mentioned. And I'd like to give a shout out, like we already talked about, to Nuno Mendes, because, I mean, if winning the Champions League last week at those performances wasn't enough to kind of cement his place, arguably, I think now as the best left back in the world, this performance in the Nations League final definitely did, pocketing Lamine Yamal, a guy that we're talking about. If he wins this, he arguably clinches the Ballon d'Or. He's on top of the world. He's cooking everybody. And
Well,
then for
someone
Nuno
wanted
Mendes
to
to
make
just,
that push. I mean,
yeah,
someone said
I
that,
mean,
but
and for Nuno Mendes to just absolutely pocket him the whole game. I mean, I saw a stat. Yamal was dispossessed at what, like 22 or 23
I
times
think
in the
22
match.
times.
I mean, he was just a shell of himself compared to what we've seen, and he still did create those little moments of brilliance that we saw, but just not quite to the level or the extent that we have seen kind of recently. So that was interesting. It was just really an interesting match, but it just seemed like for a while there, Spain just kind of took their foot off the gas, and it's just not what you just can't do that in a final against anybody, but especially a team of Portugal, but that still has world class players all over the pitch. Rafael Leao coming off the bench, Ruben Diaz at the back, and at 40 years old, but we got to talk about him, of course. Cristiano Ronaldo, who might not be the player that he was when he was 28, 29, leading to Real Madrid to three-peats and all that kind of stuff. But still, all he needs is one chance, and that's all he really needed today. I saw the stat: one shot, one goal, one shot on target. I mean, that's literally the definition of being clinical, and he took the chance when he had it. And I mean, obviously, he's still a shell of himself compared to what he used to be. But coming up clutch in the big moments, clinching that third international trophy, it meant a lot to him. You could kind of see this was, I think, one of those times where we had kind of talked about Portugal in the past, where you look at Argentina and it's like those players are all fighting for Messi, and they were fighting for him to win these trophies. And I think today we kind of actually saw that a little bit with the Portugal team. It looked like they were fighting for Ronaldo to want to get this kind of last trophy for Portugal. And I think he will contribute or be in the squad for the 2026 World Cup. But I don't think Portugal are the favorites for that competition by any stretch of the imagination. Although stranger things have happened, they could win it.
To be fair,
who knows?
Though, I mean, Portugal I think they proved with this match that they could be anybody on the day. I mean, you're going against Spain, and to give Spain somewhat of a benefit of the doubt, they're going to have Rodri for the World Cup. I mean, he's a big spot missing in the midfield. They're going to have Carvajal back. I mean, not sure how well Carvajal will be. I mean, but he was instrumental in their Euros campaign. But I mean, overall, it's obviously Cristiano Ronaldo is not what he used to be, but this is the reason why when he's in these type of matches, you can't not think that he's not gonna muster something up. Because I remember right before he scored, the commentary we were just talking about maybe they should sell him off, and that that maybe his heavy legs were kind of dragging the team a little bit, and then he scores. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason you have him in those positions, because he's kind of something, he has a little thing to him, it will fall to him. Sometimes it will just come to him and he will score it. And that's what he did. And
it was I
think overall he played quite well. He played quite well. And I think I think right before he went down, I think with his injury, I was like, well, there's no way he's gonna make penalties if they get it there. He's 40 years old. He can't play 120 minutes. So right. I mean, he gave about as good as he could. And it just happened to be good enough. I mean, he kind of got them to the point to where now the squad that had many world-class players still on the pitch is like, okay, now you guys got to take it over. And like you said, I think there was a bit of that, let's do this for him. But there's also, I think, a lot of those players are now playing for, there's so much individual talent. Great. I mean, Vitinha, that didn't really, he wouldn't jump out at you when you watch the game, but he was just always kind of the engine man getting everything done. Bruno Fernandes didn't play awful, but overall it was Nuno Mendes. I mean, I was like, I knew he was good, but my God, how he was just controlling everything. Because I've never seen a player be able to like be an active left winger. In every attack, he was like he's playing left wing, and then every time he shot back, now he's a left back. He was doing it. He was doing it all, and the stuff he was doing to Lamine Yamal, honestly, it was almost criminal. I mean, on the second goal there, he skins him alive. Yeah, he's a minor. I mean, he skins him alive for the second goal and just runs past him like he's a cone. And then any chance Yamal, at a certain point, Yamal didn't even want to attempt to dribble at him. I think he kind of lost his confidence. But realistically, that's what happened when Yamal wants to put this type of pressure on himself. So, even before the match, I mean, whatever each player everybody has their different perspective on it. But when a player is talking about, oh, I'm born for this or this and that, yeah, it's nice things you say, but before matches like that, I mean, he's got an ego the size of fucking Spain on him, and to go in the final and just to play awful, because I think he played awful. I from watching that. I mean, yeah, he had some moments. I mean, the cross where he kind of just threw it in there and it somehow banged around and led to Spain's first goal. I mean, I guess that was something. But overall, after that, he was awful. I mean, he was flat out awful. And for someone, and you wouldn't really pick that apart. I mean, oh, he's a 17-year-old guy. And that's what that I'm going to hear a lot of. Well, now it's going to switch to, oh, he's only 17. You know what?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? But this is the same guy that was building up this trophy as, well, if you want to play for the Ballon d'Or, let's play for it now, and basically hyping this cup up as the Ballon d'Or decider. So is Ronaldo now the Ballon d'Or favorite because he won it? Is that what we're gonna do now? I mean, that would sound ridiculous, would it not? I mean, is Nuno Mendes now gonna win the Ballon d'Or? Is that what's gonna happen now? I mean,
Hey, he won the Nuno Mendes won the Champions League. He
look,
won the treble. He won the Nations League. Hey, Nuno Mendes may be the
Bruno
Ballon d'Or
Mendes should
favorite after this game. I'm not gonna
legitimately
lie.
he should be there. I think he's got to be there. Like that would sound ridiculous, but that's the campaign and PR that these people want to push for Yamal. And Yamal is a good player. His moment will come, or his time will come, but that time is not right now, and that is
Yeah.
proven by Portugal, by a 40-year-old Ronaldo. I mean, who would have thought that out of? I mean, maybe this might sound not fully right, but I mean, to think a 40-year Ronaldo would score before Yamal or end the game with having more goals than Yamal, no one would have thought that. I mean, we would ask him, oh, this is going to be Yamal's moment to where he catapults himself really into that Ballon d'Or conversation. Even if he did win, I still don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not holding this trophy to the highest standards of like a Euros or like some people might. And Yamal really tried to push to make it seem like it was, but realistically, it's a decent trophy. I mean, it's not the creme de la creme. It's not the World Cup. It's not the Euros. You know, it's not that.
It's an international trophy. It's nothing crazy. It is starting to kind of get a little bit more prestige because I think we talked about it before. But that first year that Portugal won it, we were like, "Oh, it's a friendly tournament. The trophy doesn't really count." All of the Messi fans at this point, because obviously Messi hadn't won anything at this point for Argentina, it was like, "Oh, this is a meaningless trophy." Blah blah. Obviously, the way things progressed ultimately doesn't really matter about the Nations League, and it still doesn't matter now. That's a point that I'm going to make it in a little bit here. But the Nations League is definitely becoming a little bit of a better trophy, but still, obviously, and when you think of like the prestigious international trophies, I mean, you've got the Euros for Europe, you've got the Copa America for South America, and then you've got the World Cup for both. And that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, anything else that they want to make up, FIFA wants to make up for more money, they can do whatever they want, but those are always going to be the main trophies. And of course, now that they play in these new competitions, it's still going to be important for their kind of CV and their legacy to win these trophies. And it's going to be great for Ronaldo to have 3 international trophies on his legacy. But ultimately, it's not going to really make a difference in terms of the GOAT conversation or anything like that. Messi is still cemented regardless of what happened tonight with Ronaldo. We're not winning a 3rd international trophy. Doesn't matter. If he wins in 2026 and Ronaldo bags like the golden ball in the World Cup or something, we might be having a different conversation. But there's no way in hell that's going to happen. This guy is barely scoring goals in Saudi.
We don't know.
He's not won a single trophy in Saudi. I mean, but to be fair, I give him credit for his performance today because he did what he had to do, and I give a lot of credit for that at 40 years old at the highest level. A guy that everyone says is washed, for him to score a goal, to contribute, and then ultimately, be the captain, winning the Nations League again. You give Ronaldo a lot of credit, so I'm happy for him.
I mean, is it too early to say Portugal a little dark horse for 2026? I mean, it's out of the question.
They're there.
I mean, look,
they're there.
It's about to be in a couple of days. I mean, I think what was it, in a couple of weeks? We're about to be exactly 1 year away, and I don't think Ronaldo's level is going to change. I think he's going to be a part of the team. I think he'll still start. So I mean, and like I said, I think Portugal it has the capability on their day to beat anybody. But obviously, they're not going to be favorited. The favored team is still going to be Spain, and it's going to probably France is going to be there. Argentina are going to be there. So
I would say even England are going to be in there, even though they weren't in the Nations League right now as well.
Yeah, I mean, England are going to be there. So obviously, it's going to be it's no easy task. But Portugal, I mean, to me, this is just showing that on their day, they can squeak these out. They can get these results by, I mean, taking it to penalties. I mean, that's what it took. I mean, that's what will need to happen. I mean, they'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Portugal, you've got an experienced manager in Roberto Martinez, who ultimately did fail at Belgium with that golden generation, but now winning a trophy at Portugal, you got to give him a lot of credit. A very experienced manager. They're still going to have Ronaldo leading the front line. Bruno Fernandes is not washed, not going to Saudi, is going to be playing at a pretty high level. Man United, we got to argue about their level, but he's still going to be in the Premier League. So he's going to be, you would imagine, on top of his form, going to be the same player that he is. They have Rafael Leao, they have Pedro Neto, they have good young players in the midfield, Vitinha, João Neves, they still have Bernardo Silva, Ruben Neves, and of course the main man we've been talking about, Nuno Mendes. That is a team that can win the World Cup, and you would say They're not my top favorite or anything like that, but just depending on how the bracket goes, and
I,
at the end of the day
I
in
think of them like
football, they could win
as
it.
like a
They
dark
might be a
horse.
top 5 favorite. They might be like a number 5 or like a dark horse for me. I definitely see that, but I don't think they're in my top 3 or anything like that. I think my top 3 is pretty steady. I don't think that's going to change by the time now in 2026 World Cup starting. I think it's pretty much locked in that my top favorites is going to be Spain, Argentina, and France. It's going to be one of those 3 teams, I would imagine, or England. But my top three is those ones. But that's a conversation we have plenty of time to have. But I mean, we talked about it a little bit, and I think you already alluded to it. But did Ousmane Dembele clinch the Ballon d'Or tonight?
I think it's been clinched for me. I mean, me personally, I always thought it was clinched, but if you want to, like, let's say, have the benefit of is it for sure now? Then yeah, I this wins define kind of the award, I would think. I mean, the best player performing on the biggest stage. And look, it's all great and spectacular to perform great in semifinals. That's awesome. But no one remembers the guy that goes to the final and loses. You remember the people who win. I mean, realistically, I mean, do from what campaign can you remember all these players played spectacular in the semifinal but lost in the final? I mean, I off the top of my head, I can't really think of it, and that's kind of what Yamal's been. I mean, he kind of hit that ceiling, and he has to take the next step. Obviously, he's 17 years old, and like I said, his time will come. But for people to be so quick to say it's right now, no. I mean, this was kind of should be a falling back down to earth moment because he plays great in semifinals. I mean, we saw him in the semifinal of the Champions League, in the semifinal in the Nations League versus France. He played great. I mean, at France kind of capitulated and had a very weird start to the game, but finished very strongly. But overall, he played great. But when it came to the final, where was he? I mean, you're playing
Yeah.
against the best left back in the game, and even to touch upon this, I forgot to mention. I mean, Nuno Mendes, to give him more props. I mean, he had to go against. He went against Salah, Yamal, and then who
He's
else has he
beating
got
Saka
against?
as well.
And Saka. I mean, to have those guys, those guys on your wall for this year. I
Pocketed them
mean,
all.
pocketed them all, and it just completely spectacular year. I mean, that's the guy that you would want to make a statement with, and you just completely got pocketed. I mean, he just did nothing. So that to me kind of cements my opinion on it. And if other people want to still say he's a Ballon d'Or favorite or whatever, so I mean that's them, that's their opinion. But overall, I think you can't watch that game and not be like, well, I just don't think it's him.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, Lamine Yamal has had an incredible season, especially as a 17-year-old. You could make the argument the greatest 17-year-old in football history, just in terms of what he's accomplished so far at 17. I mean, even Messi at 17 hasn't done the things that Yamal has in terms of what he's won, the amount of goals, the amount of matches that he's played. You imagine, as long as he stays injury free, and of course, like we say every single time, we hope this happens because we want to see Lamine Yamal playing a long career, just like Ronaldo and Messi stayed injury free for a large majority of their career. I hope the same for Yamal because I think he is the future of football. I think he is the next guy that we're taking, like, who is the new kind of Messi and Ronaldo for this new generation. It looks to be Yamal. He's got the ego of Ronaldo, and he seems to kind of have the skill and the dribbling flair of Messi. And he lacks the finishing ability. I think that's the one thing that you kind of hope he continues to develop in the next coming years. But my point is, and I said this last video, he's going to have plenty of opportunity to win the Ballon d'Or, I imagine, unless he falls off like Ansu Fati. I think he's going to be there next year. He's going to be there the year after that. He's going to be there. You know what I mean? I just don't think this is his year. Obviously they won the domestic treble. He had a pretty good year, but Rafinha had better stats for Barcelona in terms of the contributions. So, was he even the best player on his own team? That's an argument. And we're talking about the best player in Europe. He's going to have time, and I think he's in there, and I think he should probably finish second or third, but I just don't see him winning it now this year. I think he kind of needed a statement performance tonight because he didn't win the Champions League. If he won the Champions League, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. He should win it. But he didn't. Lost to Inter. It wasn't his fault. He played incredibly, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. There's a reason why Messi didn't win every single Ballon d'Or. There's a reason why Ronaldo didn't win every single Ballon d'Or, and it comes down to what you win. And there's some things that are a little bit out of your control. And Yamal didn't have a great game tonight, but they still could have won. And if they had won on penalty, even though he had a bad game, we might be sitting here saying that Yamal is the favorite, even though he had a bad game. You
people wouldn't
forget
have
that
cared. I mean,
because they won the trophy. Because they have the photo, Yamal with the trophy, you kind of forget that he had a bad game. It could have been so different. But the reality is Portugal win. Yamal had a bad game. And it was already a debate that he shouldn't win it, or should he win it anyway? And you would argue that Dembele has the better overall resume to win it this year already. And now he doesn't win the Nations League and he has a stinker in the final. It has to be Dembele. It has to be Dembele. If you want to keep the credibility of the award, it has to be Dembele. He won the treble, over 20 Man of the Match awards this year for PSG. He was the best player. And I know it's incredible because we remember Dembele not that long ago. We would never have imagined that in 2024 or now 2025 he'd be winning the Ballon d'Or, but he is. So that this is the reality, and he deserves it. And I think now, and also because I think the PSG have a really good chance to win the World Cup, it's going to be all done and dusted for Ousmane Dembele. There's no way. I mean, at this point, his biggest contender might actually be Mbappe.
I mean, you could say that, but I mean, to me, to think that the French Federation sees a French player winning the treble, having the stats he has, and not wanting to pick the French player. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me thinking too much into it, but yeah, realistically, I don't see how. Because even when now all the La Liga's like player awards and got released, that Rafinha won player of the season. Yeah, Rafinha won it.
Doué won Champions League Young Player
of
the season.
Yamal won the under 23, but you could win both, right? I mean, the Premier League has set that precedent where there's players that win both, young player and best player. So I mean, it's not like it's impossible to do. The reason Yamal did not do it because Rafinha was better, and he was better in the Champions League. I mean, to be fair, I mean, even though I think his numbers are kind of inflated a little bit, but I mean, he still statistically was better.
He still had those numbers, though. Yeah,
it's a conversation, and I mean, if there's a conversation for you to be the best player on your own team, then I don't think it's quite valid. And I mean, and the other guy we haven't even mentioned today, because another ghost was Pedri. You know, he just got. Did he even play today? I totally forgot if he played. I mean, the other guy.
He had that one chance where he kind of did the in and out, and he had that one. I forget. I think it was in the second half. He had that one chance where he was through on goal. But that was the only really thing I remember.
That's the only thing I remember. I mean, another guy that they tried to hype up as a Ballon d'Or contender. I mean, Christ Almighty. I mean, Spain had two Ballon d'Or contenders, and they couldn't beat 40-year-old Ronaldo. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the PR is a bit too strong, but I think that Ballon d'Or thing is done and dusted. I think it's Dembele. I mean, I've said it all, and if they want to put Yamal at 2, I don't even think Yamal's 2. But if they want to, I mean, look, that's great for him, good for him. But his time will come. It's just not now.
Yeah, there's always next year, and the way Barcelona are kind of reloading, you would imagine, especially with Spain being a contender to win 2026, and Barca are going to be in and around. I mean, we'll see. It'll be tough to win the domestic treble again because you'd imagine Real Madrid will have something to say about that. This was kind of needed to be their year, in my opinion, because there's no way Real Madrid can be that bad again. At least you'd think, in theory. Now with Xabi Alonso, we'll wait and see. We have plenty of time to talk about that. And ultimately, it kind of depends on what happens the rest of this transfer window. I mean, we know, not to get off on a different tangent, but apparently they got a secret signing coming. So we got to wait and see what that is. At this point, it might be Ronaldo. That might be the secret signing after this performance today.
Ronaldo. That is one of the silliest reports I ever had the chance of reading. The secret signing that's not Nico Williams, but I mean, we haven't touched upon it, but that wasn't the only game today. I didn't know if you got the chance to see France versus Germany.
Yeah, no, I saw some of it, of course. Yeah,
a good little bits of it, and I mean, because I did want to talk a little bit about that, and not a whole lot because obviously it's not the main
third place
talking point, but the third place, and I think France finally, I don't know. I didn't get a chance to really get into it, but I don't know why Rabiot plays. I mean, because we didn't make a video on the Spain-France one, and I thought I was watching terrorism. I thought I watched a terrorist attack. Rabiot was borderline horrific. And then I watched this game versus Germany, and I see Shumeni play literally a perfect game. I saw the stats: 26 passes, 26 completions, five long passes, 5 long passes completed, and 4 or 5 duels won. I mean, this is the guy that should be playing, and I had to be forced to watch Rabiot foul Yamal and give a penalty and play awful. And the worst thing is Rabiot I remember he talked shit during the Euros, wasn't it? It was like, everybody's talking
against
about Yamal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, what? Why is this guy talking? For God's sake,
of all
man.
players, you've got Mbappe, you've got so many world class players on France, but Rabiot is the one piping up.
Yeah, Rabiot in 2025, man. I mean, what's going on here? But I mean,
he's been
France.
washed.
He's been for God knows how long, but France played well. I mean, Germany, I'm not sure. I kind of looked at Germany, kind of played whoever. I wasn't really as serious, but I think
Germany,
France still has those roots to be, and they're like you said. I mean, up there in the top 3, and I would still, if the World Cup came around and let's say it's a semifinal, another semifinal, Spain versus France, I'm still gonna pick France. I mean, I don't know if it's just me hating on Spain, but I mean, to give those guys more chance to, because I definitely think it's a top heavy team a little bit. I mean, the attack is so great, and then it can tend to kind of fall off. But I think within,
but this wasn't their full strength. I'll say that.
Yeah, it wasn't full strength, and with some time to kind of build up. Because Doué, I mean, this is his first season really kind of establishing himself. I mean, he's gonna need some time to kind of settle himself in. So I mean, I still think they're gonna be within the top 2.
Yeah, look, France are not going anywhere. They're still going to be there. They're an amazing team. They're going to be, like I said, they're my top 3 favorites. They're like with that top 3, like I said, and even I would include England in there as well. It's like if you tell me any of those 4 win the World Cup, those 4 being France, Spain, Argentina, or England. If you tell me one of those 4 teams is going to win it, I can't get mad at it. You can make a very compelling case for any of those 4 teams. Those are the 4 best international teams, I think, right now. And I think, honestly, I would pick one of the European sides. I love Argentina, and I think they're still going to be there. But if Messi is not quite where he was in 2022, which he's not going to be, there's just, I mean, look, he's still a great player, and I still think he's going to contribute, but he's not what he was in 2022, and he was the focal point. He was the difference maker, and you have to imagine, even though those other Argentina young players have kind of stepped up around him, if Messi is not close to that level he was in 2022, which I just don't think he will be, that I couldn't consider them the top favorite, especially the way you've got Spain as rising. They're only getting better. France, they still are only getting better. A lot of their players are still young. Argentina, the same way, a lot of their players are young, but their best player, the guy that's supposed to be the main man, he's the focal point, man. He's supposed to be the focal point, and we just don't know what you're getting exactly now at this point. I mean, he's still an amazing player, but MLS is not quite the same level. And I mean, even when he came on in the most recent World Cup qualifier games, he contributes, but he's just not the Messi he once was. So I just don't think if he's not at that level he once was, I can consider them the top favorite, especially when they'd be going against Spain or France, who this might have too much firepower.
And I mean, we'll probably close it out on this, but I think we're kind of being too respectful of Argentina. Like we have to be serious. They're just not going to really compete to the highest level against Spain or France, or even think England. I mean, we're talking about Messi 4 years removed from what I mean. Look, we watch the MLS every now and then. I mean, Messi doesn't look too great, man. I mean, he's old. I mean, you just gotta look at
MLS players.
Old.
Yeah, he's pretty good against MLS players, but he doesn't play every match. He's inconsistent sometimes. And Miami is not even the best team in MLS.
No, I mean they can even win the cheeseburger Champions League over here, man. I mean, realistically, that's not the guy that you want to be hanging your hats on. I mean, okay, man. Well, okay, Messi, we're gonna pull you out of this McDonald's parking lot where you're playing, against God, I don't know, Chicago FC, and now you got to go up against Vitinha, you got to go against Jude Bellingham, Rice, you got to go against all Spain's got. You got to go against the best in the world now. It's gonna be like, look, Unk ain't doing it. Unk ain't got it in him no more. I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
and Argentina still have a good team. They have a very solid team, but we watched the Copa America last time. I mean, it was them versus Colombia. Do we think Colombia's good?
It was tooth and
Going to
nail
think
too.
that they're
It was
it
a
was
very
tooth and
scrappy
nail. They
because
took them to
they
the death.
didn't have Messi and they didn't have that creativity and they won a very scrappy game. They were lucky to win that game. They were the scrappier team and they had that winning DNA and that's why they ultimately won that. But without Messi, as soon as he went there, and Messi, you could tell even when he was playing in that game before the injury, he wasn't the
Yeah,
same guy. I mean, Messi is older and his play style.
and
I
not
mean, even Ronaldo, he
not even
doesn't look
to
the same at
mention
40, but his play style kind of caters to playing older. Messi's just doesn't, and it's still
Messi
incredibly still
doesn't.
even at
He
this
can't.
level.
Messi can't really be a poacher. And another guy that doesn't get one of the most underrated guys. I mean, Argentina's arguably their biggest finals player, Di Maria. He's gone. I mean, he's done.
Gone.
I mean, the guy who scored basically in every final that he's played in for Argentina.
One of the
He's definitely
first
not
Copa
there.
America scored in the World Cup. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
tough.
some of the biggest moments ever. I mean, look, we're being very respectful
And,
having
and I
Argentina
would say another
within
point
there.
if you look at the next generation of like the next Argentina youngsters that are coming up, it's like they're like almost 4 years too late. Like they needed to be a little bit more blossom to kind of be ready. Like you look at the guy Real Madrid just signed, Mastu Uano. I think I'm butchering it. But like
I butchered his name still too.
next year he'll be 18 and he's supposed to be the next big thing. Or they're talking about him like Maradona, but he's gonna be probably just a little bit too young to kind of step in and really burst out onto the
I think
scene. You would
so.
think at the next World Cup. So they have a couple players like that, and they're a little bit too young to like be ready to burst out onto the scene. So it's just the timing is a little bit off. Argentina might have a lackluster World Cup next year. It depends. But they kind of just do have that aura at the end of the day that I think they will be in and around there. I think they'll be in definitely a quarterfinal, maybe even a semifinal. And I wouldn't bet against them in any kind of match like that just because they kind of have that grit. And that's something that you can't teach. You can't buy that. You have to earn that. And they have definitely earned that the way that they've played over the course of this run that they've had where they've pretty much dominated international football.
Well, you did mention Real Madrid's latest signing, and I wanted to ask you the question. Do you remember the last player Real Madrid signed from River Plate?
The last player Real Madrid signed from River Plate. Is that? Oof.
You should know. You should to add context. Very old. It was a very long time ago.
But it's someone I would know.
I think you should know him. You would definitely know him.
But he's not current.
No, God, no. He's like when he played, it was black and white.
Oh, is it like Di Stefano?
It was Di Stefano.
Well,
that was the last player Real Madrid signed from River Plate was Di Stefano, bro. So he's in good company.
Jesus. Yeah, to be fair, he is in good company. We'll see. That's big shoes to fill. I mean, I think he's going to be a decent player. I haven't watched too much of him, I'm not going to lie, so I don't know. But we'll kind of have to wait and see.
Di Stefano,
I'm not watching
too
much Argentinian league, but I have seen a little bit of the highlights that in and around, and he does look to be a quality player. But much like all these 17-year-olds, you don't really know until you know. Vinny, when he first burst out, oh my God, this guy's terrible. 4 years later, he's really good. Now he's kind of ass. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get with some of these young players. Chelsea is kind of doing the same thing where they hit on half and they miss on the rest. So you really never know. You just kind of
hope. Which one have they hit on? Modric?
Well, I mean, Enzo so far has been a success. Caicedo has been a success. But anyway. Anyway, wrapping this one up. Like we had said, brilliant match. That was kind of a good way. Well, not quite a good way to end the season because we still do have one more competition, like we talked about in the last video, the Club World Cup. So we still have more football, and that means I think before the Club World Cup we may do like one final video. I think just talking about that in our final predictions, I think it's fair to say we're going to do that after probably that transfer window ends because there's a lot of signings that looks like they're about to happen. And we don't know who's playing actually in the Club World Cup. I mean, Maignan could be coming to Chelsea, maybe not. It looks like it's tooth and nail. Who knows what's going to happen? So I kind of want to wait and see what happens with these transfers. I don't know who Real Madrid are going to bring in or anything. So what do you say?
I don't know if you want Mike after that performance versus Spain. He was awful.
But the performance today against Germany, he showed me that
I
he still got it.
I
Unk still
guess
got it.
so, but we'll
Unk still got
we'll
it.
definitely have to see. We'll make a video before that
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah, 100%. So once that transfer window ends, we'll have something else. We may or may not have another video coming soon, like we kind of said in the last video. We kind of just taking it as stuff happens, and we decide to make a video. We make a video. So today, obviously, this definitely warranted a video. This match, Ronaldo winning his third and arguably maybe his last international trophy, definitely warranted that. Like I had said, we'll see you guys for the next video sometime soon, probably next week or something like that. But yeah, without further ado, I'm Zach.
I'm G.
And we'll see y'all next time for another video. Peace.